Amara woke up early on Sundays, like always. The sun was just peeking over the Texas horizon, painting the sky orange and pink. Sugarland was a nice suburb, full of big houses and green lawns where many Nigerian families like hers had moved for better lives. Her kitchen was modern, with stainless steel appliances and granite counters, but she filled it with smells from home, Nigeria. Plantains frying in hot oil, rice simmering with tomatoes, peppers, and spices for jollof. It was her way of keeping traditions alive in America. As she cooked, she thought about how she got here. Amara was born in Lagos, but her family moved to the United States when she was young. Her dad was a professor, teaching economics at a small college in Illinois. He was strict but kind, always saying, "Education is your weapon, Amara, and money, it's a tool, not a show." He taught her about stocks, bonds, and investing from a young age. By high school, she was helping him manage his portfolio. In college, she studied finance, graduated top of her class, and landed a job in Chicago at a big firm. She was rising fast, handling huge accounts. Then she met Michael at a Nigerian wedding in Houston. He was charming, a medical student becoming a pediatric surgeon. They fell in love, got married, and she moved to Texas. When kids came, first little Chloe, then baby Ethan, she chose to stay home. "It's my choice," she'd tell herself. But the Adebayos didn't see it that way. Michael's family was from Abuja, successful immigrants. His dad built Adebayo Logistics from nothing, shipping goods across the Gulf Coast. When he died suddenly from a heart attack, the family acted like he was perfect. But Amara knew the truth from her dad's lessons. She checked the books quietly. The company was a mess. As the family arrived for lunch, cars pulled up. David's shiny SUV, Funke sports car, Mama Beatrice in a taxi because she didn't drive anymore. They hugged, laughed, spoke a mix of English and Yoruba. "Ikaro, Mama," Amara greeted, bowing slightly out of respect. The meal started well, but soon the jabs came in. "Amara, sweetie, try adding more salt to the stew next time, okay?" Mama Beatrice, her mother-in-law, said with that fake, nice tone she was an expert at. She sat at the end of the long wooden table like a queen, her head wrap a big, stiff crown of blue fabric. "Yes, Mama," Amara answered, calmly, putting a bowl of sliced fruit on the table. Her husband Michael squeezed her hand under the table. It was his way of saying sorry without saying it. He was a good man, a great dad to their 2 kids, but when it came to his family, he got weak and didn't stand up for her. "Don't worry, Mama," Funke, Michael's younger sister, added, looking at Amara's plain dress like it was ugly. "Not everyone can cook like a pro. Some of us have jobs to focus on." Funke called herself a brand consultant. That meant she posted fancy pictures on Instagram and spent lots of money shopping at the mall. David, the oldest brother, laughed loudly. He was the boss of Adebayo Logistics, the family business he got from their late father. "Leave her alone, Funke. Amara's job is making Michael happy and also keeping the house running. That's important, right?" He raised his glass of palm wine like a toast. "To the housewives, the quiet ones who hold us up." They all laughed. Michael's smile looked forced. Amara kept her face calm. She'd heard it all before. "Just a housewife. What do you do all day? Must be nice not to use your brain." These words were meant to hurt. They reminded her of the good job in finance she left in Chicago to raise her kids and help Michael's career as a doctor for kids. They thought her quiet ways meant she was simple or had no dreams. "Speaking of doing well," David said proudly, puffing his chest, "I'm closing a big deal on a new warehouse area next month." "Great, dear. Your dad would be proud. It will make us the top logistics company on the Gulf Coast." "Oh, my son, just like your father. He knew how to make money grow. Thank God he left us with so much. This house, the company, his memory is strong." Amara sipped water slowly, showing no emotion. She listened as they talked about their money, their history, their riches. She filled glasses, cleared plates, and helped her 6-year-old daughter, Chloe, when she spilled juice on her dress. She was like an invisible worker in their lives, needed, but not seen. Later that night, after the Adebayos left, leaving messes and mean words behind, Michael helped in the kitchen. "I'm sorry about them, Mara," he said quietly, feeling guilty like always. "You know how they are." "I know," she said, her hands in warm, soapy water. "David's under a lot of stress. That warehouse deal is huge." "I'm sure it is," she said, not giving away her thoughts. She dried her hands and went to the small office next to the kitchen. On her laptop, she opened secret files. Michael thought she just handled house bills and kids' schedules. He didn't know it was the center of her money world. She opened the file called Adana Holdings LLC. Inside were papers for land, stocks, and ownership. She clicked on Adebayo Logistics. It showed David's company was in deep trouble, losing money from bad deals and his own big spending on the company card. The only thing keeping it going were 3 big secret money gifts in the last 2 years. She clicked on another file, Texas Commercial Realty Partners. She scrolled to properties. There it was, 1450 Industrial Parkway, the warehouse area David wanted. The paper said the owner was Adana Holdings LLC. Amara looked at a photo on her desk. It was her and her father, taken before he died. He was a quiet economics teacher who invested smartly, leaving her lots of money she never told the Adebayos about. Wealth is quiet, Amara. Only poor people make noise. The Adebayos made a lot of noise about their money. Soon, that noise would stop. Amara's life wasn't always like this. She grew up in a small apartment in Chicago, where her parents moved from Nigeria when she was 5. Her dad worked hard as a professor at a community college, teaching students about money and economies. Her mom was a nurse. They weren't rich, but they saved every penny. Education first, her dad always said. Amara listened. She was top in her high school classes, especially math and business. She got scholarships to college, studied finance, and graduated with honors. Her first job was at a big firm in Chicago. She was a financial analyst, handling millions of dollars for clients. She loved the thrill, the numbers, the strategies, the wins. She traveled, wore power suits, and felt strong. Then at 28, she met Michael at a friend's wedding in Houston. He was tall, funny, and studying to be a surgeon. They talked all night about Nigeria, America, and dreams. 6 months later, they were engaged. Moving to Texas was hard. Michael's family was close-knit, traditional. Mama Beatrice welcomed her, but always hinted that Amara should focus on family, not work. When Chloe was born, Amara quit her job. "I'll be a mom first," she decided. But Adebayo saw it as a weakness. "She's just a housewife now," they'd whisper. Over the years, Amara saw the cracks in their family. Michael's dad died suddenly, leaving the business to David.
The company had big debts. The house was almost lost. Using her dad's inheritance, $5 million, she grew to 20. She started Adana Holdings. Named after her middle name, it meant father's daughter in Igbo. She bought the house anonymously, paid off some debts, and invested in the company without telling anyone. It was her way of protecting Michael and the kids. But the insults kept coming. At family events, Funke would brag about her career, showing off designer bags. David would joke about Amara relaxing all day. Mama Beatrice would say, "In Nigeria, wives know their place." Amara smiled through it, but inside it burned. Weeks after that Sunday, life went on. Amara drove Chloe to school, a nice public one in Sugarland, with lots of diverse Nigerian kids, Indian, Hispanic. "Mommy, why does Grandma always say the food needs salt?" Chloe asked one day. Amara smiled. "Grandma likes things her way, baby, but I cook with love." At home, she helped Ethan with puzzles. The 4-year-old was energetic, always running. "Mommy strong," he said when she lifted him. In the afternoons, Amara did her magic. In her office, she traded stocks online. Her portfolio grew: real estate in Houston, shares in tech companies, even some oil investments since they were in Texas. She read news about the economy, watched videos on new trends. It was her secret hobby, keeping her sharp. One day, Michael came home early from the hospital. "Busy day?" he asked, kissing her. "Always," she said. He didn't know half of it. The big trouble came on a Tuesday, like a storm out of nowhere. David's voice on the phone was shaky. "Emergency meeting at your house now." Amara knew something was wrong. She set up the living room, the fancy one with leather couches and African sculptures. It was for special guests or holidays, not everyday use. David arrived first, looking sweaty and pale. His suit was wrinkled. Funke came next, her makeup running from crying. Mama Beatrice walked last, walking slow with her walking stick, face confused. "Sit down," David said, pacing. "The warehouse deal fell through. Worse, the bank is calling in all our loans. They say we don't have enough to back them up." Funke gasped. "What does that mean?" "It means we're broke," David yelled. "The company is sinking. They'll take the trucks, the offices, everything." Mama Beatrice shook her head. "No, your father built this. He was smart with money. The Adebayo name is strong in Texas." David sat down, head in hands. "Dad, he made mistakes at the end. Big risks. The company was in debt when he died. I've been trying to fix it, but it's too much. I used company money for personal stuff, trips, cars, to keep up appearances." The room exploded. Funke cried, "My lifestyle, my apartment, my clothes." Mama Beatrice stared at her husband's photo on the wall. "He betrayed us?" Michael tried to calm them. "Let's think. We can sell things. What about the properties downtown, the strip mall?" "All part of the loans," David said. "Even the house." "The house?" Mama Beatrice whispered. "Our home?" "Collateral," David said. 30 days to pay or lose it." They argued for hours. Blame flew on David for spending, Dad for bad choices, even Michael for not helping more. Amara sat in the corner armchair, quiet. She watched like it was a movie, her heart beat steady. For 10 years, they ignored her. Now, her turn. As they tired out, feeling hopeless, Amara cleared her throat. "There might be a way." David snorted. "What do you know, Amara? This is real business, not house chores." The old hurt, but now it gave her energy. She stood and went to the bookshelf. Behind old books, she pulled a thick black folder. She placed it on the coffee table with a thump. "What's that?" Michael asked, his eyes wide. "This is the truth," Amara said, looking at each. Her voice was strong. She opened it. Tabs for sections: house, company, investments. First paper. The deed to this house. 7 years ago, after your dad died, it was almost foreclosed, taken by the bank. I bought it. Silence was everywhere. Then Mama Beatrice shouted, "You bought my house?" "Our house," Amara said, "to keep the kids safe, and you." Next, Adebayo Logistics. Bankrupt when David took over. Your dad had huge debts. A secret company bought the debt and put in $3 million over 5 years to keep it open. That company is Adana Holdings, LLC. David's face went white. "Adana? Your middle name?" "Yes." She showed more. "Funke, your boutique space at the mall, my company owns it and the whole section." Funke covered her mouth. Last to Mama Beatrice. Your monthly money, the dividends from your husband's investments, his portfolio was empty, sold to pay debts. For 9 years, it's from an account I set up with my inheritance. The clock ticked loud in the quiet room. You're just a housewife, Mama Beatrice said, but her voice shook with fear. I chose to be a housewife, Amara said, standing tall. To raise Chloe and Ethan, to support Michael, whom I love. But before, I was a top analyst in Chicago, managing $900 million. Your family's money was easy for me. She closed the folder. The warehouse? I own it for 18 months. Your deal failed because you tried to buy from me using my company as backup. The bank saw the problem. David slumped. He looked small, not like a boss. Michael stared at Amara as seeing her new. Why hide it? He asked. I love you, she said softly. It would hurt to know about your dad. He was your hero. I protected that, and the family from shame. To the others, I waited for respect. One thank you. But you saw me as the cook. Tears in her eyes now, angry ones. I'm the housewife who owns your home, who pays for your lives, who holds the Adebayo name. Power changed. Amara was the leader now. Now, let's talk new rules for your money. The family sat stunned as Amara laid out the plan. David would step down as CEO, she'd take over. He'd be a manager, learning from her. Funke had to get a real job, no more fake consulting. Mama Beatrice's stipend would continue, but with budget limits, no more fancy trips or shopping sprees without approval. The house stayed, but they'd all help with chores. Family meetings every week to discuss finances openly. At first they resisted. David argued, I've run it for years. Amara showed numbers, and you lost millions. Trust me or lose it. Funke whined, but my image. Your image is fake. Build a real one. Mama Beatrice cried, you're taking control. No, Amara said. I always had it. Now I'm sharing. Michael supported her. She's right. She saved us all. They agreed. No choice. In the months after, things changed. Amara ran Adebayo Logistics from her office. She fixed bad deals, cut waste, expanded smartly. The warehouse she owned, she merged it with the company, making profits soar. Employees respected her as a woman who knew numbers inside and out. At home, Sundays were different. The family came, but now with thanks. Amara, the jollof is perfect, Mama Beatrice said one day. Funke helped cook. Sorry for before, she whispered. David asked advice. How did you know about the debts? Research. Always check facts. Michael and her grew closer. You're incredible, he said one night. I see you now. The kids noticed too. Mommy's the boss, Chloe said. Amara laughed. We're all a team. She taught the family basics, budgeting, savings, investing. They went to a Nigerian church together, where the pastor talked about humility. He said, pride comes before a fall. The Adebayos learned that. Amara's empire grew. Adana Holdings bought more properties, a strip mall, apartments for rent. She donated to schools in Sugarland, helping immigrant kids like she was. 1 year later, at a family barbecue, David toasted, to Amara, the real pillar. Everyone cheered. Mama Beatrice hugged her. Thank you, daughter. Amara smiled. Wealth whispered, but respect shouted now. She'd won the Cold War, not with noise, but with quiet strength.